Sports Live on a Titan Game Day Live post-game show presented by the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. The Titans are winners in Will Levis's debut, 28-23 over the Atlanta Falcons. We have a ton to unpack, and man, did the football season for the Tennessee Titans just get fun again or what? As Will Levis tosses 4 touchdown passes, the Titans score the most points they have since the 2021 NFL season, and the Titans are now 3-4, back in it in the AFC South race. I'm Austin Stanley with Jack Gentry, the Titan Up Podcast. We got a ton to get to here, Jack. Before we officially start the post-game show presented by the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, Jack, no relation to you and Amanda J, but hey, no. I'll let you tell the people what they got to do. Share the show here.
Oh, baby, we got a hell of a post-game show lined up. So while y'all are filing in, make sure to share it on Facebook. I know a bunch of you guys are watching it over on Facebook. Share it to your Titans groups. Let's all react to this huge win in Will Levis's debut. Man, he looks so good today. If you're watching on YouTube, turn those notifications on by tapping the bell icon at the top of your screen. You don't want to miss an update this week. I am telling you. You do not want to miss a thing, so make sure you get notified every time A to Z Sports posts something on their YouTube page. Finally, if you're watching on Twitch, text that Twitch links to all your friends. I want to see all of y'all in the comments today. We want to get to as many people as we can. But what a game, Austin. I cannot wait to react. I mean, I feel a feeling that I haven't felt in at least a year. Like, this win feels so different to me.
Jack is feeling things this afternoon. But yeah, let's get it going officially. What an incredible game. The Titans win. But first, welcome into the A to Z Sports Titan Game Day Live, the post-game show presented by the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. I do want to thank all of our partners as we stream live for all of our Titans games, whether it's pregame, halftime, or post-game show. All of our friends this season, X Golf Nashville, the home of indoor golf in Middle Tennessee, the Mint Gaming Hall, just 35 minutes north of downtown Nashville, BetMGM, also the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, Chim Chimney for all your chimney needs, Adventure Science Center, explore and discover at adventuresci.org, and Jarrett HVAC and Plumbing here live on the show. Do want to have everybody like the show. Make sure you're liking it on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We need more people interacting and more people liking it. I just liked it on Facebook. I was already liking it on YouTube. But Jack, I'm just going to read something here. 19-29, 238 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the ball 7 times for 11 yards, including 3 kneel downs for -3 yards. Victory formation. The Titans are 3-4 behind the career debut of second-round rookie Will Levis out of Kentucky. Jack, what an incredible day for the Tennessee Titans organization, rocking the throwback Tennessee Oilers unis. It looked great, representing and showing out for 170-plus former Titans and Oilers alumni at the game. That was pretty incredible.
Yeah, you just read off his numbers, and really the Titans left a lot of meat on the bone for Levis. I mean, Traylon Burks missed a big play by, a literal toe. Chris Moore had a big play called back on an illegal formation. Man, I wish those would stop happening. And Chig dropped the ball at the end of the second half. Otherwise, Will Levis's numbers are even better. But I haven't seen a debut like that from a rookie quarterback in a long, long time. I mean, you have to go back to Marcus Mariota's debut. He played fantastic in his first game in a Titans uniform. Will Levis rocking the Oilers threads today made a lot of alumni really proud, and I think really changed the narrative about this franchise. A lot of people were talking rebuild heading into this week. Are the Titans going to tear it all down and rebuild? Well, I think the construction may already be in progress because they've got a bunch of tools out there that really showed themselves today, mainly Will Levis, to where this isn't a rebuild anymore. Now you're just retooling. Now you got to get some upgrades. Find it in the offseason, free agency. But we'll worry about that later. The Titans at 3-4, their postseason hopes are still alive.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about what else happened around the AFC South with Jarrett HVAC and Plumbing later on in the show during that AFC South look around segment. But I think this is pretty incredible. Like Will Levis is a third generation football guy, right? Like his grandfather was a head coach at Yale and Northwestern, and he's been growing up and playing the game. He's been a quarterback since he stepped foot on the earth. That he looks like a quarterback, walks like a quarterback, and played like a pretty dang good quarterback today. But I think something that needs to be recognized is Will Levis is a rookie, not just making his first start, but making his first NFL action debut. And his team was in a spot only up 5 points late in the game in a big time game management situation. And Will Levis didn't make a rookie mistake. He made a savvy veteran move. It was 3rd and 4. The Titans get a first down. They end the game effectively, right? Arthur Smith's got one timeout in his back pocket left, head coach of the Falcons. The Titans try to run play action to get Will Levis a chance to get that first down and go run out the clock to win the game. Instead of throwing the football away, Will Levis takes a sack. Now, it might have been a 10-plus yard sack, but Ryan Stonehouse doesn't give a damn about that. He appreciates, welcomes the extra yards. But Will Levis, by not throwing the football away, forces Arthur Smith to take his last time out. Will Levis, brilliant, smart play, savvy veteran type play in his first ever NFL game.
He handled today with so much poise, and I talked about at halftime, adversity is going to strike. How's he going to handle it? And he bounced back every time he needed to. The Falcons had a big answer immediately after that long touchdown to D-Hop, and Levis and the offense got right back out there and did their job. Do your job. We've heard that from Mike Vrabel throughout the season. Will Levis went above and beyond the call of duty today. And you mentioned Ryan Stonehouse. He's not going to get any discussion on radio waves, on the TV. Nobody's going to be talking about Ryan Stonehouse this week. I'm going to do it quickly because we've got a lot more to get to. 6 punts inside the 20-yard line. Ryan Stonehouse absolutely contributed in today's win.
I think he had 3 inside the 10, including the one at the very end.
Yeah,
right?
He did.
Pretty wild. Look, we got a lot of people in here watching here live. We are not at Acme today. Normally, all of the home games are live from the rooftop at Acme, but unfortunately, had a little tech issue this morning at Acme. We'll be back at Acme for the rest of the home games moving forward. And shout out to Spirited Hive and Ranch Water. Great game day specials with those two, Spirited Hive and Ranch Water at the rooftop at Acme for all of the home games this season. And Nisha says, super chat's coming in here early. And Nisha says, not Levis, no matter what. I hope all of you Levis haters are eating a lot of crow today. Tighten up. And Nathaniel says, Mr. Jones, where are you at? Levis, baby. Look, I'll bring Amnesia's back up here because it was me. It was I, Austin Stanley of A to Z Sports. I created the post-it note message from draft day that Kevin Costner had up, the no matter what. And I created the post-it note, said, not Will Levis, no matter what. Well, right now, I'm wrong. I'll say it right here in front of everybody watching on the Amanda J. Gentry postgame show here on A to Z Sports. The first to admit I was flat out wrong today. Now, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I don't think anybody should get ahead of themselves. Marcus Mariota also threw 4 touchdown passes in his NFL debut. He had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and Marcus Mariota eventually didn't cut it. Now, Will Levis, he's got a long way to go, but he looks pretty damn good today. So, Jack, I will go ahead and take it on the chin. Will Levis has the Titans at 3-4, 28 points, 4 touchdown passes. And I'll add this. Will Levis's 4 touchdown passes had a much higher difficulty rating than Marcus Mariota's 4 against the Bucks back in what year was that? 2015? Wow.
And that's a great point. The throws he made today, off platform throws off the back of his foot. You just saw the touch that he had today and the deep balls. I mean, this Titans offense, this is what like Titans fans had in mind when they want to make the transition from, instead of Derrick Henry just pounding the rock and obliterating teams to death with the run, maybe open it up down the field. Will Levis pushed the ball down the field when a lot of quarterbacks today in their debut would have played it safe and thrown underneath routes and check downs and gone to their second read instead of the first one over the top. Will Levis took many shots. Some he didn't connect on. He missed NWI in the first half. But, I mean, Austin, you're saying that you were wrong. They're in the person in here, and I'm confident in saying this, and I was a Levis supporter when he got drafted. They're in the person in here that saw this coming today. 4 touchdowns. I mean, he absolutely outplayed his expectations. And, it's causing a lot of Titans fans to really reevaluate where they think this season is headed.
Yeah, another super chat here. Tippy on YouTube. So the Titans had to see what they had in the 3 quarterbacks before committing to a full rebuild. Yeah, of course. And I did see this from JR too that I wanted to bring out. How did the staff not play this guy earlier and actually played Malik effing Willis? Now let's just remember that the logistics of how the preseason went created the issue with Malik as the backup that what happened in London. Will Levis gets hurt after the opening preseason game. He's on the shelf, doesn't get any other preseason reps the rest of that way. Malik Willis gets the backup job as a default. And the only reason why Will Levis could not play as the emergency quarterback earlier this year and in London is because both quarterbacks have to get injured for the third emergency quarterback to then be able to come in. So, look, there was no reason that you could point to with proof. There was no visual evidence of proof that Will Levis beat out Malik Willis for the backup job in training camp. We couldn't do it because of the injury, and we know that. But now, look, 2 snaps from Malik Willis this game. One of them, awful snap by Aaron Brewer. Malik should have got on it, not given up that fumble. That was 3 points for the Falcons right there. And the other, Malik gained 4 yards. No more need for that. No more need for that. Let Will Levis go as long as he can this season because you're trying to build something for the future. And hey, why not win some games now?
And Will Levis, it's easy to get back there and maybe overthink things and hold on the ball too long. He helped this offensive line, which has looked terrible at times this season. He helped them out today. I mean, we talked about, Austin, you brought it up at halftime or pregame show about how everyone around Will Levis needs to elevate their game. Will Levis rose his level of play. Tim Kelly, great day calling plays for Tim Kelly. Everything was working. 5 different players caught a pass. 5 different players caught at least 3 passes today. Yeah. And usually, when a backup quarterback comes in, he's got a rapport with one guy. He trusts one guy more than others. And early, we thought it might be D-Hop. Well, 5 different players, Kyle Phillips, Chigakonkwo, D-Hop, Derrick Henry, Tajay Spears, all caught at least 3 passes. And then you saw NWI with a 33-yard touchdown to hammer the nail in the coffin today. Will Levis spread the ball around. And that's a testament to Tim Kelly and how he likes to diversify this offense. He's got weapons out there. And this was all without Treylon Burks having a catch. Treylon Burks and Will Levis, you saw them. There is a connection there. It's going to play out with more time. But when he gets going, this offense, man, under Will Levis, it changes a whole lot. I mean,
it sure does.
This is one where defensive coordinators have to tell their safeties, hey, don't get beat over top. When is the last time a defense, when playing the Titans, had to prepare for getting beat over the top? It's been a while.
Yeah, it sure has been a while. A to Z Sports here live on the Amanda J. Gentry postgame show. Jack, let's go ahead and get to our one-word question. We do this in every postgame show. We want one word to describe how you feel about the Titans' 28-23 win over the Atlanta Falcons. What's one word to describe how you feel about the Titans' 28-23 win over the Atlanta Falcons? Jack, I'll send you to the chat. Everybody, like the show. We got a huge audience here for Will Levis's debut. Like the show on Facebook and YouTube. We need more likes on it. But real quick, I want to tell you guys all about the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Wherever justice demands, Amanda J. and her team, they will go fight for your case with passion because Amanda J. Gentry is passionate, if anything else. She is incredible in how her and her team attack what they do and what they do for a living and go fight for you in whatever your situation may be. Practice in Tennessee family and criminal courts in 35 counties across Middle Tennessee. Father's rights is big to Amanda J. Gentry and personal for her, and that's what she is very passionate about, protecting the father's fundamental constitutional right to be a father to your children. So protect your rights across Middle Tennessee. Amanda J. Gentry will do everything for you that she could possibly can. Know your rights and protect your rights. Get at it. A fierce advocate on your side. That's Amanda J. Gentry. AmandaJGentry.com. So, Jack, I'll send you the chat. There were over 200 comments from the time I started talking about Amanda J. Gentry and the time I finished. So best of luck to you. To the comment section you go. One word to describe the Titans win today.
Okay, I'm going to try and get everybody, but it's going to be impossible. I'm not going to. Seth Clark starts us off hot. Mayonnaise, baby. James on YouTube says surprised. The Fundraiser says inspired. Nuclear says insane. Kindrell says finally. Brock says hopeful. Justin agrees. Hope. Matt Stotler says elated. Adam Dotson says future. Paul Ruddy says encouraged. Zach says hope. Alex says hopeful. Swagger from Patrick. We saw some swagger from Levis today. DD says reinvigorating. Charlie says relief. Zoe, future. We've seen that a couple of times so far. Jake Hughes, damn. That's how I reacted to a lot of those throws as well, Jake. Michael says reinvigorated. Hopeful from AJ. Revived from Orlando. Felt like the Titans were on a ventilator over the past few weeks, but they've now been revived. Excuse me, as my mouse is buffering here. So many comments are rolling in at the same time. Mike Peck says magical. Rejuvenated from Dion. Danny says excited. Hopeful from Bry. Excited from that dude, Derek. Mayonnaise. We'll start it and close it with mayonnaise.
There you go. Well, I'm going to take it next because my one word, look, I'm not going to go with the easiest Will Levis cliche, but man, that game was bananas, Jack. I mean, that was absurd, right? So bananas was my one word to describe this game because Will Levis was out there not afraid to let it fly. Again, 4 touchdown passes, really 3 of them on deep balls, incredible throws to DeAndre Hopkins, but he has 4 touchdown passes in a game. DeAndre Hopkins has 4 catches for 128 and 3 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins, the first Titans receiver to have 3 touchdown catches in a single game since Kenny Britt did it against the Broncos or the Eagles. I can't remember, back in like 2009 or 2010 when Kenny Britt did that. So over a decade since the receivers had 3 touchdown catches in a game. Then you go look at the defense sacking the opposing quarterback 6 times. And honestly, should have had more than that. I thought Harold Landry probably should have had a 3rd sack of the game. But just overall, that game was energetic. It was explosive. And bananas, my one word, doesn't just go towards everything about the Tennessee Titans. But how about the crazy flip the Falcons switched by going from Desmond Ridder to Taylor Heineke at halftime? 3 points in the first half, 20 points in the second half for the Falcons. Does Desmond Ridder just not very, does he suck? Like, was he just bad? Like, yeah, I mean, he looked terrible.
Heineke showed some things in Washington, right? And he's obviously probably got a more complete skill set plus the experience over Ridder. And when you texted me that at halftime as we were coming out of our show, I was a little worried because, you know, you go in game planning for one guy, and at halftime they bring in a backup, a more experienced guy. When did that happen this year? Oh, in Indianapolis. And that didn't go so well for the Titans. So it was nice to see the defense made some adjustments, although Heineke did have his moments. The Titans helped him out a couple of times. But my one word today is explosive. The Titans looked explosive today. 47-yard touchdown from DeAndre Hopkins. 16-yard touchdown from D-Hop that would have gone for many, many more if they weren't so close to the red zone.
Right.
61-yard touchdown from D-Hop. 33-yard touchdown from NWI. Tajay Spears had a big run that almost went the distance. I talked about the meat the Titans left on the bone. Chig had a shot at a 30-yard catch. Chris Moore had a big-time play that got called back. Traylon Burks came a toe away from making a huge one on the sideline. This Titans offense is explosive now. Tim Kelly, I have been giving him probably way too much credit because at the end of the day, it's the players who have to go out there and execute. And for the first time in quite some time, the Titans played better and coached better. That's a relief. But my one word is explosive. I think that we're going to see more of this as we move forward. We'll talk about the Steelers probably later in the postgame show, but I expect to see a similar plan of attack when you go to Pittsburgh on Thursday next week.
Yeah, for sure. I want to get to another super chat. You guys watching on Facebook and YouTube, appreciate everybody. Make sure you like the show. Master Jedi has a super chat saying Levis didn't torch a bunch of scrubs either. The Falcons DBs are pretty darn good. Tighten up, Master Jedi leaves us with that super chat. I mean, yeah, that's absolutely accurate because Jesse Bates has been a Titan killer of the past when he was with Cincinnati. You've got Terrell, a Clemson product who's a good, really very good player. Forget the other cornerback who's a really good veteran corner now that's his name escaping me. But yeah, the
Falcons came in third and third down defense, third in the league. Okudah, Jeff Okudah. The Falcons came into this game ranked third and third down defense. They had the 5th best red zone defense today. None of that mattered. The Titans out-schemed them. Will Levis made throws into tight windows, made throws over the top. Derrick Henry was bludgeoning the defensive line over 100 yards from Henry. He looked vintage today. And if it wasn't for Will Levis throwing the ball all over the place, Derrick Henry probably gets a lot more credit because he really kept things on track on first and second down, set up Levis for success on third downs.
Yeah, Derrick Henry ran hard. Derrick Henry had 101 carries according to ESPN. I know there was a little bit of a differential between what the broadcast had Derrick Henry at and what ESPN stats had Derrick Henry at, but 22 for 101. That's just 4.6 per carry, only a long of 14. Yeah, but Jack, you're spot on with that. Derrick Henry was getting the tough yards. He was fighting for extra yards, and it made all the difference of the Titans being able to get Will Levis and try to limit the third and longs. But even then, I thought Will Levis did a pretty good job overall on what the Titans were trying to ask him to do. They weren't great on third down, but they weren't like atrocious like they had been in the past. 5 of 15 on third down. But here's a kicker, Jack. The Titans ran 67 offensive plays. That's a big deal. And 3 of them were kneel downs at the end. So 64 offensive plays that were, actually trying to go get something. The Titans have been in games that have had like 46 snaps or something, but having 64, 67 offensive plays means you're converting first downs, moving the football. They only had 17 first downs, but they were able to make those drives last. And then hey, you can't struggle in the red zone if you score from outside the red zone, right?
Yes,
That's another big deal there too.
Red zone problems disappear when you're scoring from 61 yards out, right? Yeah, but Derrick Henry did a great job. Will Levis did a great job. Red zone offense had one opportunity. They converted on that. And the biggest surprise for me today, well, aside from Will Levis looking like Joe Montana, was I didn't notice Kevin Byard's absence. I thought that would be a big time weakness that the Falcons would explain. In the second half, it showed up a little bit more.
I will tell you where Kevin Byard's absence was. It was with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Matt Collins, Karel Hodge,
had a big play.
All having catches right over the middle.
It just didn't. At least it didn't kill them today, right? I thought that they handled it better. They handled it better than I thought. And when Heineke came in, he's a more capable passer than Ritter. He started to exploit him a little bit, but that's going to happen. There's going to be some growing pains. I liked that I saw Terrell Edmonds out on the field on a critical third down late in the game. They're getting him in there. I just think that this team, even though they've started rough, still has a lot of room to grow, which makes them a little bit dangerous. Maybe not in the division. The Jags are running away with it at the moment. Things could change. They did last year. But the Titans are a team you have to keep an eye out for if they continue playing like this in the wild card picture.
Yeah, A to Z Sports here live on this post-game show presented by Amanda J. Gentry. We've got a lot of comments I'm going to get to here. Again, we've got Amnesia saying what happens with Tannehill now. Tipsy says with the super chat, is it time to try to get a 6th or 7th round pick for Ryan Tannehill? And then Jake says, y'all think Vrabel starts Tannehill when he's healthy? Look, I think go back to Tipsy. Ryan Tannehill's still injured, and he's not going to clear a physical before the trade deadline. So it's nearly impossible for anybody to trade for Ryan Tannehill because you cannot accept trade compensation for an injured player in the NFL's collecting bargaining agreement. So that is not an option. But, what happens with Tannehill? If he was healthy, he would have played today, though.
Yes, he would have played today. But also, what happened around the league, at least 4 quarterbacks went out and left the game.
Sure.
Today. Kenny Pickett, Tyrod Taylor, Kirk Cousins got hurt in Minnesota, and Matt Stafford left the game in LA. So if he was healthy, there's probably a conversation. But with the injury, it likely doesn't matter. Tannehill's going to stay around.
There's no way. So look, we've got plenty of and did somebody said Kirk Cousins popped his Achilles. I did not see any of that game.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
It was non-contact, and he couldn't put any weight on his foot. So,
that sucks.
With the Achilles injuries we've seen this year, it's hard to I don't want to assume, but
yeah,
if I had to guess, I'd probably lean in that direction.
Oh, that sucks. That's brutal. Anyway, well, okay, so let's go back on the Willis thing. I don't know what's going to happen with Tannehill, but we're definitely going to have time to talk about it. The Titans play on Thursday night in Pittsburgh, so highly unlikely for Tannehill to get back for that game. But Jack, let's do this. Let's discuss grades. How do you grade Will Levis's performance today as the Titans starting quarterback? How do you grade Will Levis's performance today as the Titans starting quarterback, getting a big time win over the Atlanta Falcons. But first, before we do that, let me tell you guys about Chim Chimney. For all of your chimney needs, there's one place to go. It's chim-chimneyinc.com. They do it the right way the first time. Chim Chimney is honest, dependable, and affordable. And we all know it's not right now. It's very warm outside today in Middle Tennessee. But tomorrow, when that rain comes in, it's going to be cold, which means it is fireplace season upon us. And Chim Chimney is the right people to come out to make sure your chimney is swept, inspected, and safe for this fall and into the winter. And Chim Chimney does an incredible job. They've got tons of expertise and experience with over decades of service. They always choose safety first. So you should choose safety first when you go with Chim Chimney. That's chim-chimneyinc.com for all of your chimney needs. Time to grade the quarterback. I have a feeling I know how this is going to go. Jack, send you to the chat, Facebook and YouTube, where you guys should be liking the show as you grade the quarterback play here. Jack, what are you seeing?
Oh man, I can't wait to get some of these that aren't an A. Billy Jones, A+. A+ from Kevin. Clarence says B-, and there's a lot that came in before I could even get the question out. Everybody's so ready to grade Levis. B-. How do you grade him a B-, Clarence? You have been your job as a teacher has been revoked. You will no longer be grading papers. General says A. Breaker says A+. Dime Soul 2020 says A+. You're high if it's not an A+. You know what? I didn't say it, but I agree with it. A++ from Recti. A+ from Tighten Up Ohio. A++ from Michael. Rodney says A++. Jason Davis says A+. Ethan says A-. Hard to realize where the minus comes from. A from Michael. Dre said he had no turnovers, which is a big part in why most people are giving what AJ gave an A+. Nick Wells says A. JR, I see you. I can't put it up there though. A+ from Landon. Gotta be A+. Historic first game, says Wrights. A++ from Gene Gray. That may be the highest we've seen. Patrick Q says A+. Stephen Ryan, I like this. S tier. A from Costas. Like Emma Stone, easy A. Good movie for those who haven't seen it. It's Jolly Gaming says A. Scott Proctor, A+. Michael Lunn, A+. Stardom. A. Would be plus, but almost an easy pick late in the game. That was one play he did get away with.
Yeah,
A+
but like that's one play. I mean, it was.
You're nitpicking at that point.
But hey, that could have been bad, right?
Yeah, could have been. Yes,
it could have been bad. So Jack, you want to go first?
Let's give our grades. Yeah, I'll start. Okay. This is an easy A+ for me. I don't know how you don't give him an A+. And there were some people, I saw one comment that said B-. He has to show me more. We're not grading anything other than this game that he just played. This is the only game we're grading. And in this game, Will Levis gets an A+. He put the ball in tight windows. He made throws over the top. He opened up the Titans offense. D-Hop, finally, his first touchdown as a Titan. He tripled that. 3 touchdowns today. He found NWI over the top. A couple of plays that didn't count. Traylon Burks almost had one on the sideline. Chris Moore got called back. Chig dropped a big one. Will Levis did everything he needed to. And, after the first half, you go into halftime, you cool off a little bit. He was really feeling it in the first half. How do you get that back? How do you find that mojo? He's a gamer. Austin, you thought there may be nerves coming into this one, as there could be for any rookie quarterback playing.
Yeah, I was curious about it. Yeah.
He was a stone cold killer in the pocket today. He gets an A+ from me.
Amnesia says Austin's gonna need a glass of water to wash it down. Yeah, like I'm eating my crow all day long. That's fine. And so another person says, Nick says most of his incompletions were drops. I mean, there was a point in the game. My grade, by the way, is an A+. That's about as good and explosive and dynamic as a career debut can possibly be in the NFL. Yeah. And like I was sitting there going, like, man, some of his incompletions are pretty. It's like the first incompletion that he had in the game was the one to Traylon Burks where the defender made a great play on it. And I was just going like, that was a beautiful throw. And then there was a couple others like that was also a very good throw. But I'll tell you, there was a moment, Jack, in the game where I said, oh, I think Will Levis can do this thing. And honestly, it was on the Titans' second drive of the game. It was after, I believe, it was
After the field goal
after.
from the Falcons.
Hold tight. Let me make sure I'm correct on this. It was early in that game. It was a complete pass that Will Levis threw to Derrick Henry. And it was the
Yes.
one where he lofted it to Derrick
Floated it up.
Henry and made it the easiest catch that Derrick Henry could have made. It might have been on that touchdown drive. Yep, it was. Will Levis passed to Derrick Henry on 3rd and 1 in the flats, where he floated it out there and made Derrick Henry's job so easy to catch that football to get a first down. I was like, oh, he might be able to do this. And look, I don't know what's going to be here from now. Hammer saying Austin hated Levis. Yeah, I didn't like the pick. I also didn't like the Marcus Mariota pick when he was made. So, because I didn't think they could protect him. They couldn't. Will Levis is proving me wrong through one game. We'll see what happens. But that play, the first 3rd and 1 conversion, I was like, okay, that's a different type of level of a throw from a rookie that sets up his teammate to make an easy play.
And you get down to the nitty-gritty details, not only the poise that he had back there, but it was the decision-making, when to run, how to run. He was efficient with his running. He threw it away when he needed to throw it away. That sack that he took at the end of the game to make the Falcons use that timeout was savvy. It's just his mental game is so advanced already, it appears. And we saw tons of issues with turnovers in college. Tons of them. Am I still worried those might pop up at some point? Of course. He's a rookie in the NFL. He's going to make mistakes. That is inevitable. However, this was the game that was most easy for him to make mistakes. Not a lot of chemistry with these receivers, although the bye week did help. And he ran this offense absolutely perfect, like a veteran would. Even down to the Chig handoff on that 3rd down in the red zone. That play is hard to execute. You have to be on your P's and Q's. Can't be off by even a millisecond. And that play worked because Will Levis was ready for it.
Yeah, and very prepared.
He was totally in control today.
Absolutely. A to Z Sports here live on this Amanda J. Gentry postgame show. Jamie's coming to my defense. 90% of you morons didn't believe in Levis. Stop it with Austin. Yeah. Give me a break. Back off. I'm kidding. Bring it on. That's fine. I can take it. All right. So let's go ahead and revisit our X factors from earlier in the pregame show, because we each had X factors. Let's go back and take a look at how our X factors played out. Brought to you by X Golf, our friends over there at X Golf Nashville, for our X Golf X factors in the pregame show. X Golf Nashville is redoing and reimagining how you do indoor golf in Middle Tennessee. They've got it all in their location. Big TVs. You can go watch Monday Night Football and play with X Golf and on their beautiful golf simulators, the best courses, the best games that you can play there on Monday night starting November 6th. So that's coming up. So xgolfnashville.com is where to go to learn more about their Monday night leagues starting next week at November 6th with xgolfnashville.com. Jack, your X factor in the pregame show was what?
Was who was going to win the battle in the red zone. Both of these defense ranked in the top 5 in red zone defense coming into this game. And the Titans had rolled Nick Folk out there way too often when drives stalled out down there inside the 20-yard line. The Titans only made it in there one time. They scored, they converted on their one trip to the red zone, 1 for 1. The Falcons were 2 for 3 in theirs. If you would have told me that before the game, I'd have said, wow, the Titans really didn't score a lot of points today, did they? Nope. Yeah. These bombs from outside of the red zone really, really made up for the red zone. I guess the lack of appearances in the red zone.
Sure.
What's even better than converting in the red zone? Converting from beyond the red zone. The Titans absolutely did that today. And even though my X factor didn't really come into big to play a lot, I thought I liked what I saw from the Titans when they were down there.
For sure. My X factor this morning on the pregame show was be good around Will Levis to stay out of 3rd and longs. And, I'm kind of mixed on how I thought it went. Like overall, the Titans offense played really well. The offensive line kept a pretty clean pocket. Levis was only sacked twice, one of them being there at the very end that he took the sack, where in a normal situation, he would have thrown the ball away. So only allowing 1 sack is impressive. He did take a really big hit on third down late in that game too. But I thought the O-line played really well. The play calling was imaginative. It kept the Falcons defense on their toes. Tajay Spears made some plays. That one where it was a screen on like 2nd and 9, and he broke a couple tackles and gained yards to keep it out of like 3rd and 12 and made it 3rd and manageable was very impressive. But then you've got Traylon Burks can't line up correctly, and it wipes off a big Chris Moore play. Chikakonkwo can't catch the easiest ball thrown to him, but he catches the one where he's like sliding into second base backwards behind him right off the turf.
That was a big play.
Like, it was a big play, but catch the ball when it's easy and then run after the fact. So there were some weird plays. I think Andre Dillard was okay coming in for Chris Hubbard as they had to shuffle NPF to right tackle and Dillard at left tackle. Overall, I thought it was pretty solid, but I guess overall they passed my X factor, I'd have to say.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I thought the offensive line played as well as they have all season today, in spite of having to kind of shuffle things around in the middle of the game. And Will Levis, he was quick with his throws. He didn't second guess himself. He trusted what he saw. He trusted his reads. You saw him even at the line make a couple of changes sometimes, which I thought was cool to see in his first game. It was just quick throws, and it was a great plan by Tim Kelly to get the ball out of his hands early, get these completions, build his confidence, and then you saw the big ones over the top. And yeah, while he did get help from the guys around him, especially those 2 running backs, Chig did let him down. Traylon Burks could have hauled in one. There's still room there for improvement, but I totally agree. Everyone around Levis had to be good today, or had to be great, not even good. Yeah. And most of them were.
Oh, there was one thing I brought up, and somebody asked, where's Zach? Zach is on the shows Mondays and Tuesdays. Me and Jack and Sam have the rotating game day shows for those who have not been in the loop overall this season. On the one throw that Levis probably wanted back, where it was nearly an interception, that was the most pressure he faced in the pocket in that game to that point. I don't know if you noticed this, but they showed the behind the Levis view of it where the linebacker almost got it. Did you see Traylon Burks running by everybody?
Mm-hmm, I did.
Traylon Burks was by everybody.
That is not where Levis wanted to go with the football.
Levis wanted to air it out to Burks deep. And because like Burks's jersey was like blurry in the background of that shot because he was so far behind everybody else. And I was like, and then maybe want to go back and look and see which offensive lineman had the breakdown that didn't allow for the extra time for Levis to air that thing out, because we could be sitting here talking about 35-23 if that was a big time touchdown. He was that wide open.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And for him to have the time to make those throws down the field today, I think is a credit to the offensive line. Somebody in the chat, I'm losing the comment, asked how many times Levis was sacked today. Only twice. And one of them, he could have easily thrown it away, right? But the plan was to keep the clock moving at the end of the game, right outside of the 2-minute warning, to force the Falcons to take the timeout. So he took that one, even though that one was probably one he'd throw away in any other instance.
Yeah, let's see. More super chats coming in. Mikhail says, as a Falcons fan, it hurts, but Levis is special. And then Anthony says, Levis shoulder pump fake is crazy. Love that. Yeah, the guy looks like he's been playing quarterback for a long time. It's pretty impressive. All right, we've talked a ton about Will Levis. Let's give a little bit of shout out. The Titans defense was really great in the first half. Then they started to give up some plays in the second half. Jacob asked, what were Levis's final stats? I'll go ahead and give you those one more time. 19-29, 238 yards, 4 touchdowns, sacked just twice, ran the ball technically 7 times, including those kneel downs, had 11 yards, 2 tush pushes too. How about the tush push?
I like that because they called his number in a 3rd and 1 early in the game where he hadn't thrown a pass yet. And I think him just getting hit and diving forward and getting in the middle of the pile, I think that kind of gets you in the game and kind of can set a rhythm without you even having to throw the ball. So I really liked that they called his number on the one that happened early in the game.
Totally agree. King VC gives a super chat that kind of gets us to our next conversation. In regards to the team helping him out, I think it was more of everyone doing their jobs. Everyone did their jobs today. And I was going to bring up guys that had been under heat for not doing their job this season. Christian Fulton played a really solid game today. He was doing his job. He wasn't peeking in the backfield trying to watch the quarterback to get a pick. He played his man, turned his head, and made a play on the football. He was solid in the run game. Christian Fulton did a great job today throughout that game for the Titans win. The defensive front was electric. You said explosive was your one word, but electric with 6 sacks. Jeffrey Simmons had 2 of them and a forced fumble. Harold Landry's back, maybe 5 tackles, 2 sacks. Probably could have had a couple others, but Harold Landry, this is the first time I could feel him screaming off the edge.
Mm-hmm. Arden Key also made himself known throughout the game at times.
Yep.
I thought this was probably Azeez Al-Shaair's best football game he's played in two-tone blue, and he left the game early. Hopefully everything's okay on that front. But yeah, the front 7 today were screaming. Jack Gibbons had a sack. 6 sacks. I mean, that's how you win football games. And that's the Titans' identity on defense. You don't want to force the secondary to have to come away with interceptions to keep you in football games. You want to do the job up front and make that opposing quarterback's life a living hell. And the Titans did that for Desmond Ridder. And in doing so, the Falcons had to make a change at halftime. So, job well done by those guys.
No doubt. All right, let's get to Mike Vrabel's winning formula. He has 3 things that have to happen to win a football game in Mike Vrabel's winning formula. We'll do it brought to you by our friends, Adventure Science Center, adventuresci.org. Explore and discover with the whole family at Adventure Science Center. Again, adventuresci.org. Contemplate endless concept of infinity, an immersive exhibit with their infinity room that's pretty incredible. I've been there. Challenge your friends and family, learn all about the human body as you fight pathogens with lasers, and Body Quest is awesome too. And they also have 21 and up events only. I went to the Science of Spirits back at the end of September. It was so much fun learning about the science of alcohol and fire and spooky season. Science of Spirits 21 up event at Adventure Science Center was phenomenal. They've got another one coming up December 1st, a Wonka themed 21 plus event, Jack. So, hey, get your tickets at adventuresci.org or take the whole family there with Adventure Science Center. So, Jack, the 3 things for the winning formula: outrush your opponent. Tennessee Titans 149 rushing yards to the Falcons 140. Close. The Titans got it though.
Mm-hmm.
It was close though. Check.
Yeah, but the Titans were very efficient. They're very efficient, and it seemed like every time they needed 3 or 4, they got 3 or 4.
Who do you think led or had the most yards per carry? The Falcons.
Okay.
Falcons,
I thought you were talking about running back ones.
Yeah, I phrased that funny. But the Falcons averaged 5.4 yards per carry for 140 yards, and the Titans averaged 4.1. Now, I guess the kneel downs kind of throw that off a little bit, but still, it's not enough for it to completely change that too much. But 149 yards rushing on the day is a big time victory overall. The next thing on Mike Vrabel's winning formula with the Adventure Science Center, quarterback rating. I think there's no question who had the better quarterback rating. 130.5.
Oh, baby. Levis. Oh, baby. That seems low to me now that you're just now reading it, to be honest. But
well,
I think what the max is 152.3, I believe, or
158.3.
Okay, backwards. 158.3. So still room for improvement, but man, it's hard to play a whole lot better than Levis did.
130.5 is quarterback rating. There are drops in there, like we mentioned. You know, he had 10 incompletions. I think that drops it down a little bit overall. But if you take the Falcons' 3 passers, do you remember who their 3 passers were in this game, Jack?
Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke, and old friend Jonnu Smith.
That's right. Jonnu Smith's passer rating is a 39.6. His 0 for 1 attempt. But the 3 passer ratings for the Falcons all come out to 91.1. So not bad, because Taylor Heineke was at 100 in that second half of action. So pretty good effort there from Heineke. Solid, strong right there.
And how about that? The Jonnu Smith on the play, he was targeting Michael Pruitt. That was Arthur Smith going for the jugular early. And I don't think Vrabel liked that a whole lot. And you saw the response from the Titans defense.
Yep, no doubt about that. And then the last winning formula recipe for Mike Vrabel is win the turnover battle. And I think the Titans tied with 1 turnover. And I think Mike Vrabel needs to look at himself and say, that's on me, guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mike Vrabel needs to say, not sweeping the winning formula, only getting 2 out of 3, winning by 5. That's on Mike Vrabel for the Malik Willis gaffe of only going 3 snaps with Levis, then putting Malik in. Aaron Brewer had a bad day snapping in general, but that's on Mike Vrabel. Why? It's a stupid idea.
And a lot of Titans fans are going to get upset with Willis. That is not Willis's fault. Willis was not put in a position to succeed today by his coaching staff.
Correct. I do think Malik Willis should have jumped on the football with more urgency instead of trying to pick it up and make something happen. The fumble, losing the football in that spot is on Malik Willis, but he shouldn't have been in the game.
No, exactly. Sure. And that's the bigger issue there.
Yeah. So
and you didn't see him in the second half. So
no, only 2 plays for Malik, which, this is not against Malik Willis, but Malik lost his job today because Will Levis came in and threw for 4 touchdowns.
And, it was asking a lot at the time, but Malik Willis had a chance to win this job against the Ravens. He had a chance to win this job late in the game against the Ravens, and it was a big ask because the Titans were coming out of a hole. Ryan Tannehill gets injured, and it's fourth quarter. You come in cold, hard to do. But if he comes in and beats the Ravens and wins that football game, Will Levis doesn't throw 4 touchdowns today, and the Titans might even lose today. So Malik Willis has had his chances. Will Levis just grabbed his by the neck.
Yeah, and the Titans win, which means the Titans are 3-1. They're also technically 3-1 at home because the London game counts as home, but they're 3-0 at Nissan Stadium. So, Jack, we weren't at Acme today because of a technical issue this morning, but still the Titans would be 3-0 with us at Acme, right? Because we were
at Acme at one point.
We were at Acme. And the Titans are 3-0 when Jack and I are at Acme and on game day. Insane, right? So let's take a look around the AFC South because, look, the Titans got it to go their way, and they won the game against the Falcons to get to 3-4. They also got some breaks around the AFC South today as well. But first, Jarrett Fire and HVAC and protection experts. That's where you should go. But Jarrett's Plumbing and HVAC is where you should really check them out because, again, it's a weird time in Nashville. It was 80 degrees yesterday on Saturday, 70-something today. Tuesday, it's going to get down to like the low 30s. It's going to be crazy, which means you're going to be going from AC to heat to AC all over the place. And make sure that you have your HVAC and plumbing serviced by Jarrett because they take care of you, skilled technicians with experienced and ready to tackle any type of project. Preventative maintenance is always big too. Jarrett offers plans that keep your system running smoothly year round. A low cost since Jarrett is locally owned. You can miss out on those corporate markups. In a customer-centric approach, Jarrett is not satisfied until you are satisfied. So JarrettCompanies.com is where to go. Jack, the Titans are 3-4. You look around at some of the other scores on the day. The Colts lose to the Saints. The Colts are 3-5. You also look, and hey, number 1 overall pick Bryce Young got his first win today, and the Texans lose to the Panthers. They are now 3-4. The Jags get to 6-2, so that's a problem. But Titans are right back in there.
Yes, and they're looking forward to a Thursday night football game against the Steelers. Kenny Pickett left the game at halftime, did not return with a rib injury. And Austin, if you know anything about rib injuries, those don't heal in 7 days. So even if Pickett is out there, if he gets hit in the side 1, maybe 2 times, it's going to be hard for him to throw the football, right? And Mitch Trubisky came in and looked god-awful today. So hopefully the Titans can keep this momentum rolling into Pittsburgh, which has been a historically tough place for them to win. And, even this thing up at 4-4, and then the fun really gets started.
Yeah, here's a good Mike says, what's the verdict for Henry after today's win? No sell. No deal.
No deal, Howie.
No deal, Howie. No deal. DeAndre, you're staying. No deal. 3 touchdowns and Derrick Henry 100 yards. No deals. Man, do you got any seller's remorse on Kevin Byard?
I mean, as a Titans fan, probably, but I understand why you do it. And it is doing right by KB, throwing him up to his hometown team, giving him a shot to win a Super Bowl. But sure, Kevin Byard could absolutely help his secondary. However, I think that they can be okay and manage without him as long as the offense can keep up. It's been the offense that just hasn't been able to keep up with the defense on their bad days. Now with Levis and this explosive style of passing that the Titans showed today, I think that they're able to keep up with some teams that they weren't, in the first 6 weeks of the season.
Jack, we made it 49 minutes and 55 seconds into it before the old curmudgeon Kane came in here with a negative super chat. Why do the Titans still struggle on third down? This is still an issue, especially when playing better teams. Still not impressed. Mariota won his first game also. Kane, also not the number 2. Kane, we will complain about things throughout the week. My goodness. The Titans
This wasn't perfect.
The Titans just got a 4-touchdown performance. Here's another trivia, Jack. The Titans scored 28 points for the first time since when?
One Green Bay.
Nope.
Was it the week before Green Bay?
Nope.
The Rams game?
Nope.
That was too long.
Well, there's one more recent than that. You're going back too far.
I don't know. Help me out.
Week 18 in the 2021 season at Houston, which also was the last time the Titans had a person throw 4 touchdown passes. Tannehill had 4 touchdown passes in week 18 at Houston. Will Levis 4 touchdown passes today against Atlanta.
I could get used to this, Austin. And we talked about it before the game. No matter what happened with Levis, he was either going to be a hero or a bust after this game. We're not going to get 4 touchdowns every week from Will Levis. We're not. He set the bar extremely high for himself. I don't know if that's going to come back to get him or not, but this isn't going to be the Will Levis we see week in and week out. So just be patient. Be patient. This was an awesome sign that you have a guy who you could probably trust moving forward with the franchise. Life after Tannehill is starting to look a whole lot better.
Yeah. What also happened in that week 18 win at Houston when Tannehill threw 4 touchdowns and the Titans won by scoring 28 points is a future Hall of Fame receiver caught a touchdown pass. Julio got in the end zone that day, and Jesse Super Chat, D-Hop got in there 3 times.
Julio also scored a touchdown today, which breaks my heart. But
did he really?
Yes, he did. But it's the Commanders, so it really doesn't count.
That game was tight. That game was a lot tighter. But hey, before we head out of here, the bingo board took a beating today, and I've got more things to add to it because I need to put a check right there in the center of NI for that NFC win right there. So we are on bingo watch. You need 30 points. Almost got there today with Will Levis's debut. Traylon Burks needs to get his stuff together. Chig, Cobb Phillips get in the end zone. A division win and a defensive score. There's a lot of different ways that we could hit bingo here in the next couple of weeks here, Jack.
I've got my eyes on that Traylon Burks 100-yard game. I know that Levis and Burks have spent a lot of time together.
He's got to get 1 yard first. You got to get 1 yard first.
I know he was held catchless today. The DB made a great play on the first time he was targeted. But if he comes down with both of those catches, he's flirting with 100 already. So I think that there's a lot of promise for Traylon Burks. I think that these receivers have to be happy with the way that Will Levis threw the football today. He's not afraid to take shots. So if you open it up like they did today, there's going to be opportunities for Traylon Burks to eclipse 100 yards.
All right, that'll do it for us. Want to give a shout out. We were not at Acme today, but had a technical issue this morning. We were at Acme today. Then we had to leave to come home to get the pregame show going. But want to give a shout out. Spirited Hive and Ranch Water. They have game day specials for all home games this season. Up at Acme. We'll be back on the rooftop at Acme for the Titans' next home game against the Carolina Panthers. Should get a win right there. But also want to give one final shout out to all of our Titan Game Day live partners, Adventure Science Center, Jarrett Fire and Protection, Chim Chimney, BetMGM, the Mint Gaming Hall, the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, and X Golf. Before we head out here, make sure you like the show. Thumbs up on Facebook. Thumbs up. Hit that like button on YouTube. Buck Rising live tonight, A to Z Sports Primetime. Me and Zach will be live tomorrow morning on a Monday. Short week. Pittsburgh's next. Thanks, guys, for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Victory Sunday.